Hey, how's it going, peeps? How's it going? Welcome. Hello, Andrew, Marlon. Hello, MD. Hello, Jordan. Hello, Josie. How's it going, peeps? Welcome to our little Minish Cap Q&A, because we just finished the series not that long ago. I'm not going to be streaming for that long, so you best leave a like and do it quick, because we're only going to be streaming for about half an hour. I've got a few questions from the members, people who sponsor the channel, and just obviously a few thoughts of my own. Hello, Al. Hello, Steve. Hello, Claudio. Wow, we've got a full house tonight. Yeah, just, we've got a few questions to answer and then a few of my own thoughts. So I'm just gonna jump straight in with one from Claudio. What was my favourite item? Is this the stream for the tour of the new studio? It is not quite, I'm afraid. We've got, so you will have seen on the last couple of videos, the angle of the face cam is a bit different and stuff, because basically we got a new desk. We have got a new camera, but we haven't kind of set it up yet. It only came today. Hello, Hyper. Yeah, new camera, new desk, new kind of arrangement. But yeah, maybe we'll show it off soon once it's all properly done. Oh yeah, we got blinds as well, because we always had sun coming through from the back window, which was really annoying, because having a bright light on the green screen makes it really hard to do a decent green screen. But yeah, blinds. Hopefully sorted that now. You are facing our left now. Good choice. Is that a good choice? Is that my is that my best side? I don't know. Thank you, Claudio. Triforce. You are back, Josie. Yeah. So first up was Claudio's question. Sounds good, Josie. Honestly, it's because Josie was saying in the comments that he, if he remembers rightly, he gave up towards the very end of this game because it was hard, and it really is. This is like, it's not Zelda too hard or anything, but it's proper it puts up a decent challenge, I think, for a Zelda game, which is kind of, I would say Zelda's famously quite easy. Or at least I don't know, that's my experience. But yeah, so Claudio has asked me what my favourite item is, and this was just a no-brainer for me. The cape wings thing is just game changer. Like, what an absolute beast of an item. Just I mean, there's a couple of games where Link can jump, like Breath of the Wild, Skyward Sword, maybe? I can't remember. No, I don't know if he can jump in Skyward Sword. Definitely Breath of the Wild, definitely Zelda 2. But yeah, it's not that common that he can jump. But this is more than a jump. This is like a jump on a float. Are you using the new camera? Quality looks pretty epic. I'm not, but it's funny you should say that. I'm not using the new camera, but I think just the lighting is a lot better. So it just shows you can work wonders with a crap camera and good lighting, and then vice versa. You can have like a fantastic camera and really crap lighting, and it'll look rubbish. So yeah, all about the lighting. Show my good side. Minish Cap is a good surprise indeed. I did not remember the last dungeon. Yeah, the last dungeon was it was like this big Mega Man, boss rush thing. I really liked it, the art style, Hyper. Emma was fine. You must have seen, I think Emma's thumbnails for this series have been really good. And she was fine in that artwork. It was quite the bits of artwork for, with Link in all different poses and holding the different items and stuff. It's very, I thought it was very Wind Waker. Although obviously it looks less Wind Waker in the game because it's a Game Boy game, but those proper bits of artwork for the game look very Wind Waker. Yeah, they look really good. But yeah, the cape is a beast of an item, and I loved, it's so good, how Zelda constantly innovating. Constantly doing new stuff all the time, which I'm going to come back to because there was another question that I remember thinking I was going to say something about that. Hey, edible, incredible. It is, well, I mean, what's going on in the background right now is the it's basically like the final episode of, you know, my video Let's Play of Minish Cap, which I finished about a week ago. So I'm not playing it right now. That's just a video to kind of keep your eyes busy. Because, welcome by the way, Edible, how's it going? So yeah, so I do this thing where every time I finish a video series, I do like a little Q&A. About a week after the final episode goes up, I do a little Q&A, and then anyone who's a member of the channel can submit questions, and yeah, it's just a chance, because sometimes when I'm recording the videos, I don't always get a full chance to just, like, you know, do like almost like a mini review while I'm doing the episode or whatever. So this is like a chance after I finish the series to kind of like get all my thoughts out and say what I liked and what I didn't like, and all that stuff. Would I recommend this game as an introduction to 2D Zelda? Yeah, I mean, it's almost as good as any of them. It's not quite the best 2D Zelda, but it's a really good game. Like I was shocked at how good it was, to be honest. It's hard though. It's hard. Like, it's not the easiest introduction in the world to Zelda. Like, I think if you wanted an easier game, there are lots of easier Zelda games than this, I would say. Although maybe it's just, I don't know, like I've seen other people play Link to the Past for the first time and be like, oh my god, this is so hard. And I don't find it hard, but that's probably because I've just played Link to the Past a million times, so it feels not hard, but maybe Link to the Past is harder than I realised. Where would I put it in the, well, I'll get to that. I will get to that one, Steve. Yeah, so Claudio was asking as well what I thought about, oh, Josie. Well, it'll always be here no matter what. We'll have you know, when the stream's all done, you'll have a 30-minute video stream thing uploaded to the channel that you can watch back whenever you like. I feel like part of your difficulty was terrible RNG on hard drops. So is that not normal then? Because I take it that's not the norm then, because that was like that. You're right, that was the difficulty. The game just didn't, like, I'm so used to, like, you know, Ocarina of Time. You know, like every other enemy will give you a heart, every other jar, like everything's always giving you hearts all the time. So it's kind of hard to get down to low health. On, you know, Ocarina of Time, Link to the Past, the one like Twilight Princess, all those ones, like, they feels like they're throwing hearts at you all over the place. In this one, sometimes, like, honestly, sometimes I go through a whole dungeon and I reckon I get like 1 or 2 hearts, the whole thing. So you pretty much got to go through the dungeon and the boss with like one. I mean, obviously you can bring potions and stuff, but what, like, one set of life. Health, whatever you want to call it. So I take it that's not the norm then. That's not the way this game's supposed to be. I don't know. I also didn't figure out how to beat these guys. Claudio told me after I'd already beaten the game. I believe it's like, it says Mega Drive. It's a Sega Mega Drive T-shirt. I think it says Mega Drive in Japanese. Yeah, Claudio told me after I'd already beat the game that I was supposed to be using the shield on these guys. The only reason I wasn't, because I didn't use the shield at all, because it's the same thing as Link's Awakening. It's because you've only got 2 slots, and one of them pretty much has to be your sword. So you've only got 1 slot, and it's like, if I use my shield as the other slot, then I can't have anything else as my item. So I usually just kind of sacrifice the shield, and it turns out that the shield is the way to beat these guys. Oh yeah, I don't know why, I had loads of problem with the giant Octorok, and then Hyper and Claudio were just like, don't know what the problem is. I didn't know, they didn't have any problem with them, so I don't know. It's supposed to be like an epic sword and shield duel, rather than a run around the back, take about 3 million years to just get one opening, stab him in the back. I always use bombs. It's not like hearts all the time, but I usually get a heart or 2 every few enemies. Yeah, that must have been... That's weird then. That's really weird. Must have got proper unlucky there. Yeah, so... Claudio was asking what I thought about the idea of the bad guy not being... you know, of the main villain not being Ganon. You know, do I like it? Do I dislike it or whatever? I like it. Like, I mean, I've got nothing against Ganon. Ganon's a cool dude. But I like when they mix it up a bit. I liked Barty. I liked... I'm trying to think, who was the other one? Who was the one? I can't even remember. The bad guy in... Was it Link Between Worlds? Oh my god, my mind's gone blank. Because there was Hilda. Hilda was like... Ah, Yuga. That was the one. But yeah, user on it. You know your Zelda. Yeah, I like it. You know, I'm not one of these people who's like, no, everything has to be the same every time. Like, you know, I'm perfectly happy for games to try and mix it up. And you know, sometimes they mix it up and it goes wrong. But you know, I'm more than happy for them to give it a try. And I think it's cool. Also, Varty has that like purple look to him, just like Hilda does. Like Varty looks really cool. I like Varty a lot. Yeah, Varty's a beast. Yeah, and also I've mentioned that I like, and it came up in this series because I think I've been doing like I've done all the Zelda games on the channel almost. I've done all the console ones and most of the handheld ones, and I've kind of been working my way through the handheld ones. I did Link Between Worlds, I did Link's Awakening, just done this. And it's just, I think it's just kind of making me realise that I like 2D Zelda more than 3D Zelda. And Claudio was asking why. And I think most of you'll know that my sense of direction is garbage. Like, which is stupid. It's stupid that I don't use maps. I never use the map. Although recently, since like it's been like a couple of series of Zelda in a row of people going, use the map, and eventually you have drummed it into me. I do use the map now, and it is actually really useful. But the point I'm getting to is that I think it's way easier to follow a 2D map. Look at that. You got a nice 2D map, dead easy to follow, versus a 3D map. Well, it's not just about the map, but I just think 3D dungeons are so much easier. I find it's weird because I said this a while ago and Hyper said that she disagrees, and she thinks it's the other way around. That Hyper thought that 2D dungeons are a lot easier to get lost in. I think the other way around. Like, I find it so much easier to get lost in a 3D dungeon when you've got stuff like, you remember that dungeon in, I think it's the water dungeon, is it? In Twilight Princess, where you can like spin the staircases around, and then when you spin the staircase around, it like opens up access to another floor and stuff. Like anything like that where you got different floors, and like I get way more confused about, I'm way more lost in those kind of things than 2D. I mean, how hard can it be when it's 2D? Like, so I find I get stuck with the puzzly bits way less in 2D Zelda than I do in 3D Zelda. Also, I just think quite often, like, I don't know, maybe they've just done a better job of it or whatever. But I always really like the 2D boss fights and stuff. I mean, I don't know. I think they do a really good. I don't know. Maybe it's also because I grew up on the 2D ones as well. So you know, I grew up. There's me crushed, using my fairy, trying to just tank him. Never gonna work. And now going into the end of game boss with 3 hearts, and there's only about 15 phases. Yeah, see, I never used the map at all, and then it was like many streams of me being lost, and everyone going, "You have got a map, you know," which is a fair point. I mean, you can't really complain about being lost. Have a map and then just choose not to look at it. Problem with 3D Zelda is that while open areas are cool, they seem a bit empty. Yeah. I mean, I'm not. I mean, obviously, yeah. There's stuff like Hyrule Field is pretty empty, and Terminus. I don't even know what it's called now. The field in Majora's Mask, is it Terminus Field? That, you know, the equivalent of Hyrule Field. That's just an empty green field as well. Yeah, but I mean, for me, it's more about like the dungeons, like they're just easier to get lost in. Look at these, look at this, the skills here, taking on three dark nuts at once. Termina Fields, that's the one. So yeah, I prefer. I think that's why I prefer 2D ones probably, just because I find navigating the dungeons a lot easier. I get lost less often, and I hate getting lost in games. It kills the speedrunner in me that just wants to like plow through, and I'm like, oh god, I'm going around in circles. It is hilarious to stumble around, it gets a little tedious. Oh yeah, no, I know. Well, the no map stubbornness is gone. You, Marlon, Hyper, Claudio have converted me to looking at a map when I get lost. Which works in 2D Zelda. You try looking at the map. If you're lost in that Jedi Fallen Order, you try looking at the map. You're more lost after you've looked at the map than before. Like, that's the thing, like 3D maps like that just don't work well at all. I don't think anyway. So it doesn't work well with my brain. I was just going to ask what the thank you for letting me know, Claudio, because I meant to ask at the start and I totally forgot. I wasn't sure what the volume was like on the kind of playback video. Yeah, so thank you for letting me know that it is perfect. Take note. It's about 20 minus 25 decibels or something? Something like that. Which is weird. I don't get it. How it can be a minus number and it's audible. I don't know. Yeah, so Marlon has come in with their usual what did I think of the story? I think it was pretty good. You know, I liked the whole Minish thing. And that, you know, it was pretty good that, you know, that your little kind of companion was your hat. Someone joked with me in the comments. At the time I didn't realise it was a joke, saying that this was actually the source of this was like the source of Link's hat, and that, you know, that's where his, you know, before this he's never worn a hat. And then it made me think, hang on a minute, where does this fit in the timeline? And I know that Skyward Sword is the first game, but I don't remember if he actually wore a hat in the first game. It made me start thinking, maybe is this game the heritage of or the source of his hat? Turns out it wasn't, and they were just joking. but it was a fun theory while it lasted. Oh, the Hyrule Castle map in Breath of the Wild. Still timeline's confusing, but I think this one's pretty early. Yeah, he did say it was pretty early, but I think he said he was just kind of, it was just a stab in the dark joke kind of thing. I mean, who knows? I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe this is the source of the hat. And yeah, so this is what I was going to come back to before. Marlon was asking if I liked the kind of the mechanic of going small, getting to new places and stuff. I really do, and it's one of the things that this is what I kind of started saying earlier. That it blows my mind. It's similar to Final Fantasy actually. How you can have such a long-running series that, give or take, have not released like, you know, both series have been going, what, 30 years at least, and they haven't released a bad game pretty much. And yet they always change it up. It's not like they've got one tried and tested formula and it's like, right, we're going to play it safe and always stick the same. It's like, it's crazy. Like, you know, Majora's Mask is wild. That's got the whole time thing. Ocarina of Time has got, you know, flicking between young and old. Link to the Past, you're going back and forwards in time. Link Between Worlds, you can go inside walls. This obviously you get big and small. Like they come up with brand new. You know, obviously a lot of things are the same. It's still a dungeon. You always get a dungeon item, boss, blah blah. You know, there's a lot of things that are the same, but they change enough every single game to make it feel, you know, like it isn't just repeating the same things over and over again, and yet they always get it right. So yes, I did really like the mechanics of the whole shrinking. I don't know how they do it. They consistently come up with kind of new, cool ways to do puzzles. Because then once you kind of, it's clever the way they do it. Because I remember pointing this out when I streamed A Link Between Worlds, that it's kind of like they show you that you can go in walls, and then you're like, oh, that's cool. And then they kind of, it's almost like a tutorial, but they don't tell, you know, they don't make it feel like a tutorial. It's like, you know, they tell you that you can go inside walls, and then they're like, oh, well, you know, why don't you go over here and you can get to this chest or whatever. And then suddenly you realize, oh my god, I could use this in loads of different places. And yeah, like, that's so good. Like they keep Hyrule Historia confirmation. This is next after Skyward Sword. Okay, well, if he hasn't got a hat in Skyward Sword, then that's confirmed for me. This is the source of Link's hat. I feel like this ending's nicely tough. Oh, it is. Yeah. That's what I was saying earlier. Edible. This is like. This is unreleased footage. Oh, is it? Okay. I don't know. Ever put it together? He has a hat in Skyward Sword. Okay. Is it the hat though? Is it the hat with the little flop, or is it a different hat? You know, is it the famous Link hat? Yeah, edible. It is hard. Like, I remember it was a slog. There's that whole boss rush, which not only is quite hard, but they basically say, A, it's hard, and B, you've got to do it fast as well, otherwise you die. Which I did do at one point, by the way. I did run out of time at one point on the darkness, because I hadn't figured out the best way to beat them. My way of beating them was really slow, so I ran out of time on them at one point. Oh, Varty outfit in Breath of the Wild. Maybe we can get it into Breath of the Wild too. It is the famous hat. Oh, okay. The dream's dead. This is not the source of the hat. These were the 4 swords created, which later on is used in other 2 games. Later on it changes to the Master Sword, I guess. Oh yeah, because, well, it's not even called the Master Sword in Skyward Sword, is it? It's called something like the Sacred Sword or something, or something? Isn't it called? It's called something different in Skyward Sword, isn't it? He has a green flag. Oh yeah. So there's the big boss rush, which is hard, and then, you know, Varty's pretty hard, and then I beat Varty, and I was like, yes, I beat the game. And then it was like there's that thing where you're running out of the castle with Zelda, and I thought, oh, that's very Ocarina of Time. The whole like, oh no, the castle's fallen down, we got to run out fast kind of thing. To be fair, they did steal a lot of Ocarina of Time stuff, music and stuff for this. And like deflecting the Deku Scrubs nuts and stuff like that. And maybe that's part of why I liked it, because I love Ocarina of Time. And so then there was the running out of the castle, and I thought, oh, this is exciting, this is cool. And then by this point I had like 2 hearts left, and then I got they sprung an extra bonus phase on me. So I was like, another boss phase, and I had like 2 hearts left, and I died and had to do it all over again. Master Sword is on Skyward Sword? Yeah, Hyper Rips. turn the goddess. Okay, that was it. You turn the goddess sword into the master sword. I knew there was some other weird sword. I did like the pinstone mechanics. I did. You seem to get a hell of a lot of them. I ended up. I know I wasn't converting as many as I could have, but I was like, I mean, every end is like 50% of enemies drop one. I ended up the game with like millions of them. There must be like a ton of, because each one opens a puzzle, like opens a secret, right? There must be a ton of secrets. Here's where the force sword is created. Master, yeah, that's another really cool mechanic in this game. The whole, obviously there's the one mechanic of the shrinking down, and there's the other mechanic where you can kind of clone yourself and then use that to flick switches or push a block or whatever. You know, and obviously you've got to kind of, if you touch anything then they disappear, so you've got to squeeze through thin gaps and stuff. Another really kind of cool brand new mechanic that's never been in any game as far as I'm aware. You're just terrible at the music. That's pretty textbook. The Master Sword exists in Scout Sword. It starts as Goddess Sword after tempered with the flames becomes Master Sword. Yeah, I mean, one of the first things I noticed when I started playing this was the amount of Ocarina of Time music, which is fine by me. But yeah, I think I've answered all the questions. I mean, so, but now I'll just chat anyway. So I really like it because I haven't really, I've answered loads of questions, but I haven't really given my thoughts. I think this is like quality. I was really shocked because I thought, oh, it's a Game Boy Advance game. For one, I didn't even expect it to look this good. I thought I'd seen screenshots of it before, and it looked really like really old-fashioned, and you know, like original Link's Awakening kind of old-fashioned, and that put me off wanting to try it. Then when I saw it, I was like, oh wow, this actually looks pretty good. Yeah, it's really good. The music, great. Like, they come up with loads of new. It's kind of what I was saying about the new ideas that, you know, they always change things up between games. So it's not just like the bow and arrow, the boomerang, the hook shot, you know, the same old things. They've got the jar, the blowing jar, sucking, blowing. I don't even know if it does one or both. That's brand new. Flying cape, brand new. The mitts, so that you can dig, again, brand new. Whole new mechanic of digging through stuff. You guys, yeah, there is always that. Emma does do her magic with the upscaling, so maybe it does look a bit better than it should. But yeah, like brand new weapons every single time you make a new game. They don't just fall back on the same old, like, I mean, obviously they've got a couple, like a bow and arrow and whatever. Yeah, this was I enjoyed this phase of the boss mainly because it was probably the easiest phase, and it was actually a pretty good opportunity. It was one of the few opportunities in the game to get hearts. You kept throwing these like shards at you that were quite easy to just, you smash them and sometimes they turn into hearts. It was quite easy to kind of, and he was so easy to dodge. You could almost use this phase as an opportunity to just top up your health, because he's quite easy to knock at hurt and it's easy to just consistently keep smashing them for hearts. I don't know, I haven't got many left, to be honest, Claudio. What have I got left? I've got Spirit Tracks. I don't know what. Is that it? Spirit Tracks? There must be more than that. Oh, Phantom Hourglass. I think that's it. Spirit Tracks and Phantom Hourglass, I think, are the only ones I can think of that I haven't done. Although, as you mentioned the other day, I have not done a master mode. I've never done the master quest in Ocarina of Time. That would give me a lovely excuse. Are you still here, Edible, by the way? Because I think I saw Edible stream a bit of the master quest, and I was just wondering, like, how, I know the dungeons have all got different layouts and stuff. is the overworld the same? Is it like, you know, are the items in the same places and the puzzles all the same and stuff? I mean, in the overworld, like, is it just the dungeons that get changed? I don't want it to be something like crazy randomizer, and they're like, oh, didn't you know that the flippers were in the volcano or whatever? Like, hopefully it's not too wild. Oh, the Oracle games, yeah. How many of them are there? Some tough puzzles, same story, same overworld, just the dungeons are different and harder. Yeah, isn't it like double damage or something? I mean, I was thinking about doing a 3-heart run of it, which I'm sure a 3-heart run would be much harder than just doing it on Master Quest. So maybe I'll just do the Master Quest. Yeah, I've only seen bits of Master Quest before. I've kind of said this before, but I remember I had Master Quest, and I remember, like, I don't know why, I mean, it seems stupid of me to just make this assumption out of nowhere, but, I remember I had it, and it was like, you know, it was included in my copy or whatever, and I remember thinking, oh, well, if it's just gonna be like, if it's just the enemies do more damage, I'm not gonna bother. Like, what's the point? That's not, you know, that wasn't, if that's all it was, that's not very exciting to me. So, on the basis of that, I just assumed, yeah, I assumed it was a hard mode, even though no one had told me that's what it was. I assumed it was a hard mode and went, right, well, I'm not even gonna bother. I literally didn't even turn it on. Like, I owned it and I didn't even turn it on because I thought, oh well, it's just a hard mode. I've already played the you know, proper game. What's the point? Really? So I never even tried it, even though I had it. But yeah, so yeah, I didn't know the dungeons were kind of completely reworked and stuff. And I sure do love getting lost in dungeons. It's gonna be fun. I mean, I never found the water temple that bad, but I bet you it's bad in the, I bet you it's bad in the Master Quest version. Although it's one of those things. Maybe I did find it bad when I was a kid, and I just kind of played it so much I just plowed through somehow. Oh yeah, Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages. So yeah. Anyway, to get back to what I was saying, is I think this game is really good. It's up there, like, I've always said that Ocarina of Time is my favourite, but that's like, crap. Ocarina of Time and Link to the Past are like, so close. I could flip between the two on any day. So like, Ocarina of Time and, bloody hell. And Link to the Past are number 1 and 2, definitely. They're fighting it out for number 1 spot. After that, I'd say number 3 is probably A Link Between Worlds. You're probably going to start to see a theme here. So 3rd is probably Link Between Worlds. This might get 4th. Like, it's, I find there's so many that are close at the top, and there's so many like pros and cons. Like, it's good bits and bad bits about them all. Or not many bad bits to be fair. Like, it definitely goes Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, Link Between Worlds. They're the top 3. I think after that, the next like grouping that could go in any order that are kind of interchangeable would be this, Link's Awakening, and Twilight Princess. Oh, and Skyward Sword. Like, that's I rate Twilight Skyward Sword pretty highly. I think Skyward Sword's better than Wind Waker. Oh, but then Zelda 2 as well. I love Zelda 2. I love Zelda 2. Zelda 2's a beast. That's a whole class of its own, but I love Zelda 2. Very underrated Zelda game. Everyone hates it. Like, I do rate Breath of the Wild quite low, but it's only, I always need to stress that it's only relative to the other ones, kind of thing. Like, you know, it's still a really good game. It's just, I like the other ones more. Like, I can't even think. I think probably, I'm trying to think what's my least favourite, and it probably is Majora's Mask, but even then, I don't think Majora's Mask is a bad game. Majora's Mask is still a good game, and I quite fancy playing it. Again, but it's probably just the least good of them all, rather than the worst, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I beat Zelda 2. I had it as a kid. I didn't beat it then though. I had it as a kid, and I could get, like, back then as a kid, I could get to, like... Oh, no, okay, yeah, you've got me. I'll say, yeah, Zelda 1 is my least favourite. Purely on... I know, like, a lot of people say, oh, it's the founding, but, you know, it's the foundations of the whole series. How can you not say it's brilliant? And again, even then, the dungeons are good. I quite like the combat, and, you know, the bosses and stuff are fun. I just don't like that it's super cryptic. I just don't like. I don't want to have to use a walkthrough to play a game, and I also don't want to have to go around burning every bush in the game because one of them happens to hide the dungeon. And, you know, stuff like that. Like, some of it is mad cryptic. So that's the only reason why I would, yeah, so Majora's Mask is not bottom, it's definitely bottom. But, as I say, it is only the least good as opposed to bad. Yeah, so I had Zelda 2 when I was a kid, and I think I got to about Death Mountain when I was a kid. Couldn't get much further than that. Crazy hard game. But it was one of those things, there was loads of games I had when I was a kid, like Battletoads, that were like crazy hard. You know, games where I could only get to the second level or something, and still for some reason, the crazy person in me kept going back and playing them over and over again, even though I could barely get anywhere with them. Yeah, and then I only got around to completing Zelda. I think the first time I completed Zelda 2 was when it came to the Switch, and you could, you know, I had a proper chance to like chill on the couch and play. So I love the SNES. I love that the SNES and the NES things on the Switch. You know, there's a lot of trash games on there, but there's a few like proper classics. Yeah, so I think the SNES, the Switch was the first time I completed Zelda 2, and then we did stream it. Yeah, that is. I really like Zelda 2. There's a lot of, again, there's some stuff that's not great about it, but then there's some really good stuff. I like the whole spells thing. It'd be cool. I mean, we've had sort of spells, like in Ocarina of Time, you've got 3 things. So it's like the teleport spell that no one ever uses, the fire spell that you use a little bit maybe. I can't even remember what the third one is. Or does it like give you some kind of defense or something? One teleports you, one does like a ring of fire. I can't remember what the third one is. Yeah, so there's been some spells, but you know, there was loads of spells in Zelda 2. It'd be cool to get you know, to get a game where they do that again and give them a bunch of spells. But yeah, it's a great series. This is like up there as one of the best. It really is. I mean, it's not like, it's not my favourite, but considering there's what, 10, 15, 10 or 15, there must be like 15 Zelda games. This is definitely in the top half, definitely. And again, I think it's probably because I've got a soft spot for 2D Zelda games. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to play next. Obviously, I've got Lost Odyssey on the go at the moment, and I've just started Shadow of the Colossus, which is a beast of a game. Shadow of the Colossus, it's so good. I love that you can just play it in little short bursts. You know, you can just stick it on for half an hour, go on the hunt. You know, you can hunt down and kill a boss in half an hour. It doesn't get any better than that. Yeah, so I've never played that before, and I've been wanting to play it for a while. It came free on PS Plus, so I grabbed it, and yeah, so I'm working through that and Lost Odyssey at the moment. I don't know exactly what the plans are for upcoming games. I definitely want to stream well, we're doing the Gartic stream where we all draw and stuff together, which might be a bit more interesting than that. I mean, it was good last. It was really good last time anyway. We did that for like the 1-year channel anniversary, and that was really cool. But I do remember back then, the channel was family friendly, and I remember I had to say to people, you know, be careful with what you draw. Trying to keep it, you know, semi-suitable. But that ship has sailed now. The channel is no longer family friendly, so I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It might get wild. But yeah, so definitely want to do Gartic, and I fancy doing a stream of Animal Crossing as well, and just like invite you guys into my island, which is slowly getting there. I haven't played it much for the last week or two because I've been going crazy with Final Fantasy VII, which is exactly what I'm going to do when I finish streaming. Hope they re-release more Zeldas on the Switch, and as well as show more footage for the Breath of the Wild sequel. Yeah, they've got to show more, haven't they? I mean, they've shown very little, enough to get the excitement going though. They'll probably release it on the 35th anniversary of Zelda next year. Oh, I didn't realise that. Yeah, I would love to see, you know, I'm one of these people. I'm one of these people who just thinks, yeah, stick them all on there. Like, release Ocarina of Time. Like, you could do like a double pack, Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask on the Switch, double pack, $30 or something. You know, it's still a little bit expensive considering how old they are and whatever, but you know, obviously, I don't think people are going to want to pay $60 for those two games. That's a bit steep. My cat is deciding to try attempt to climb across my desk. Hello. There he is. Hello. But yeah, accept dogfish. So yeah, I'd love to see, you know, port over Skyward Sword, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, stick them all on there. Why not? Like, and the thing is, it's like a proper. Oh god, it's like a. Nice. Let's go. Hello. Just trying to take over the stream. But yeah, I'd be happy to see them all. Ported over. And I'm sure. God, seriously. Ooh, go over there for a minute. Yeah, like, I'm sure we will. I'm sure we'll get at least a bunch of them ported over. And I hope that the rumors are true that we're going to get a bunch of 3D Mario games ported over as well. That would be amazing. I love me some older 3D Mario. I wasn't that impressed by Mario Odyssey, to be honest. I think it's probably the worst 3D Mario ever. Big words. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to wrap up the stream here. Thank you everyone for coming along. Thank you for watching the series. Don't know what I'm going to play next, but we've got plenty of stuff on the go anyway. Plenty of streams coming up. Plenty of other... Oh, Mario 64. I'd love to play Mario 64 on a modern console. This, by the way, was the time where this was the first time when I reached the boss, not knowing that there was an extra phase, and this is how much health I have. And unsurprisingly, it didn't last very long. No worries, Claudio. No worries. Thank you, everyone. For coming. Is it DS version? Yeah. I mean, I haven't got a DS, but I suppose I could do something cheeky. But I mean, no. I mean, I could always. But yeah, it'd be cool to get like a Mario 64 with just slightly better controls, like a bit more control over the camera and stuff, and slightly better graphics. But I'm not a big graphics snob. But yeah, anyway, yeah, thank you everyone for coming along and watching the series and coming along to the stream, firing questions at me, and of course everyone who sponsors the channel who gets to ask the questions. It's very much appreciated. Yes, schedule for tomorrow is Mega Man 11. You'll be very happy to know, Claudio. I'm actually streaming again tomorrow. I know this is only a really short stream anyway. It's only been about 40 minutes. So I'm going to be back streaming again tomorrow, Mega Man 11. I'm going to try to beat Dr. Light's Trial, which is like a super hard challenge mode, and it's the last trophy that I need to get the platinum. So if I manage, it's another like, can I beat it? Because it's really hard and I've never beat it. If I do beat it, then I'll be I'll get the platinum for the Mega Man 11, which will be fun. I'll be glad to get that ticked off. But yeah, take care guys, have a good one, I will see you hopefully tomorrow. Bye bye.